The Galactic Misunderstanding. Leora had always been captivated by the mysteries of the universe. As one of the brightest students at the Centurion Science Academy, she was determined to unravel the complexities of sentient species across galaxies. Her latest obsession was humanity, a species that had recently come into focus due to its peculiar behaviors that seemed to defy established norms about predator dynamics. In her small lab filled with holographic displays and data streams, Leora sat across from Jax, her fellow researcher and close friend. Jax was engrossed in analyzing data from their latest probe sent to observe Earth. His fingers danced over the console as he pulled up images of humans engaging in various activities, running, playing sports, and even gathering around food. "Look at this," Jax said, excitement bubbling in his voice. "They're clearly moderate predators. Just look at those teeth." He pointed at an image of a human laughing with friends at a picnic table laden with food. Leora raised an eyebrow skeptically. "Moderate predators? They seem more like social creatures than anything else. I mean, look at them sharing food without any signs of aggression." Jax leaned back in his chair, crossing his arms thoughtfully. "That's just it. They have all the traits we associate with predators: forward-facing eyes, sharp teeth, but they're not acting like one would expect. It's almost as if they've evolved beyond those instincts." Leora nodded slowly, her mind racing with possibilities. What if their social structures are more complex than we realize? Perhaps they've developed some form of cooperation that allows them to coexist peacefully? Jax's eyes sparkled with intrigue as he considered her words. That could explain why they have such dense populations without constant territorial disputes. But how do we fit that into our existing models? As they debated their findings, Leora couldn't shake off the feeling that something fundamental was being overlooked. The professor who taught their xenobiology course had always emphasized that predator species could never truly cooperate without strict hierarchies in place. Yet here were humans, engaging in communal activities that seemed to contradict everything they had learned. "Maybe we need to rethink our classification," Leora suggested hesitantly. "What if these humans are not just predators but something more? Something that can adapt and evolve socially?" Jax chuckled nervously. "You're suggesting they might be social predators? That sounds like something out of a sci-fi novel." "Perhaps," Leora replied with a smirk. "But it's worth investigating further." Their discussion continued late into the night as they pored over data and footage from Earth. They found themselves captivated by various human customs: Thanksgiving dinners where families gathered around tables filled with food, children playing games without any hint of competition or aggression. As days turned into weeks, their fascination deepened into an obsession. They began compiling reports on human behavior while trying to reconcile these observations with their existing knowledge of predator species. One evening, while reviewing footage from a recent holiday celebration on Earth, Leora gasped as she watched humans passing dishes around without any hint of dominance or aggression. "Jax! You have to see this," she exclaimed as she called him over. "What is it?" he asked as he hurried to her side. "Look! They're sharing food. No fighting over territory. This is unprecedented for any known predator species." She pointed at the screen where laughter filled the air as families enjoyed each other's company. Jax's expression shifted from curiosity to concern. "This doesn't make sense according to our models." "What does it mean?" "It means we might have completely misunderstood them," Leora replied slowly, her heart racing with excitement and fear at what this could imply for their upcoming first contact mission. As they continued analyzing footage and data together late into the night, Leora felt a growing sense of urgency about presenting their findings before it was too late. They needed to rethink everything they knew about humanity before making any assumptions that could lead to disastrous consequences in their interactions with this fascinating species. Little did they know that their journey into understanding humanity was only beginning, and it would take them down paths they never expected to traverse together. The First Contact Mission. Zorak stood at the helm of the spaceship Unity, gazing out into the vast expanse of space. The stars twinkled like distant diamonds, and the ship hummed softly as it cruised through the cosmos. As the mission commander, Zorak felt a mix of excitement and trepidation about the upcoming first contact with humanity. He had spent years preparing for this moment, studying everything he could about the newly discovered species that had captured the attention of the Galactic Council. "Commander, we're approaching the coordinates for Earth," Tessa, the ship's linguist, announced from her console. Her fingers flew over the controls, adjusting the ship's trajectory with precision. "Excellent," Zorak replied, turning to face her. "Prepare the team for briefing. We need to ensure everyone understands our approach." As Tessa relayed his orders to the crew, Zorak felt a knot tighten in his stomach. The Council had classified humans as moderate predators based on their physical characteristics, forward-facing eyes, sharp teeth, and pack behaviors. However, there was something unsettling about their classification that lingered in Zorak's mind. He had read reports of human social structures that seemed to contradict everything they knew about predator species. Gathering his team in the main briefing room, Zorak took a deep breath and began. "Thank you all for your hard work and dedication to this mission. As we prepare for first contact with humans, I want to emphasize a few key points." The room fell silent as his crew focused intently on him. "First and foremost," Zorak continued, "we must remember that humans are classified as predators. They exhibit behaviors typical of their kind, hunting in packs and showing territorial instincts. However, reports indicate some anomalies in their social interactions that we need to consider." Tessa raised her hand, her brow furrowed in thought. "Commander, I've been analyzing their communication patterns. They seem to engage in cooperative behaviors that are unusual for a predator species." Zorak nodded thoughtfully. "Exactly. We must remain cautious but open-minded. Our understanding of them is still developing." He glanced around the room at his diverse crew, each member representing various species from across the galaxy. They had trained rigorously for this mission, but there was an underlying tension as they prepared to interact with an unfamiliar species. "Now," Zorak said, shifting gears, "let's discuss our diplomatic approach. We'll be presenting ourselves as peaceful visitors. I want each of you to wear your ceremonial neck restraints." He gestured toward a display showcasing colorful ties adorned with various patterns. The crew exchanged glances, some appearing puzzled while others stifled laughter. "Commander," one crew member hesitated, "are we certain these neck restraints are appropriate? They seem unconventional." Zorak chuckled lightly. "I understand your concerns, but it's crucial we adhere to their customs as best we can. It's been suggested that these ties represent social status among humans." Tessa added, "They may even serve as a sign of respect during our introduction." With a nod from Zorak, they concluded their briefing and prepared for descent into Earth's atmosphere. As they approached the planet's surface, Tessa monitored their landing protocols while Zorak reviewed their diplomatic messages once more. "Remember," he instructed his team before they disembarked, "maintain eye contact and avoid sudden movements. We must not provoke any territorial instincts." The crew nodded in unison as they gathered their belongings and made their way to the shuttle bay. Once on Earth's surface, Zorak marveled at the vibrant colors and sounds surrounding him, the lush greenery of trees swaying gently in the breeze and birds chirping melodiously filled his senses with wonder. As they stepped out of the shuttle onto solid ground, a human delegation awaited them, a diverse group of individuals dressed in formal attire that varied widely in color and style. Ambassador Pex stepped forward confidently, wearing an elaborate neck restraint adorned with cheerful cartoon characters that Zorak recognized from his research on human culture. "Greetings. I am Ambassador Pex from the Galactic Council," he announced with enthusiasm. Zorak stepped forward to introduce himself but was immediately struck by how different humans appeared up close compared to what he had envisioned from data reports. "Welcome. We're excited to meet you," a woman named Commander Rodriguez said warmly as she extended her hand toward Zorak. He hesitated for a moment before recalling Tessa's earlier guidance about human greetings. With a deep breath, he reached out and shook her hand firmly while maintaining eye contact. "Thank you for your hospitality," Zorak replied cautiously. The human delegation exchanged smiles and nods of approval at this exchange, a positive sign for their diplomatic efforts. As they began discussions about potential collaboration between their species, Zorak couldn't shake off an odd feeling that something was amiss beneath the surface of this seemingly cordial meeting. "Tell us more about your society," Tessa prompted one of the humans named Max, who had been observing quietly from the side. Max smiled brightly and began sharing stories about human traditions, holidays centered around family gatherings where food was shared without competition or conflict. Zorak listened intently but felt increasingly bewildered by these accounts that contradicted everything he knew about predator behavior. How could such a species thrive without constant territorial disputes? Suddenly, amidst their conversation, a golden retriever bounded into view, a creature that appeared both friendly yet somehow imposing due to its size and energy. Zorak's heart raced at this unexpected encounter. He instinctively took a step back while his crew exchanged glances filled with alarm. "Don't worry. That's just Buddy." Commander Rodriguez reassured them with laughter as she knelt down to pet the dog affectionately. Zorak was taken aback by this display of affection toward what he considered an apex predator, a creature capable of hunting, yet here it was being treated like a companion rather than prey or threat. His mind raced with questions. How could they coexist so peacefully? What did this mean for their understanding of humans? As Buddy wagged its tail enthusiastically while receiving pets from other members of the delegation, Zorak struggled to comprehend this new dynamic unfolding before him, one that seemed to defy all logic regarding predator-species interactions. The meeting continued with laughter and camaraderie as humans shared anecdotes about their lives, stories filled with joy but also tinged with complexities that left Zorak feeling increasingly uncertain about his initial assumptions regarding humanity's nature. After several hours of discussion filled with cultural exchanges and shared experiences between species, Zorak realized that perhaps it wasn't just human behavior that needed re-evaluating. It was also his own preconceived notions about what it meant to be a predator in this vast universe. As night fell over Earth and stars twinkled overhead like distant beacons guiding them toward understanding one another better, Zorak couldn't shake off an overwhelming sense of curiosity about these beings who had turned everything he thought he knew upside down. Little did he know that this was only the beginning. An adventure filled with revelations awaited them all as they delved deeper into understanding humanity beyond mere classifications or labels assigned by distant observers across galaxies. The arrival on Earth. Captain Vera stood at the observation window of the Unity, her heart pounding with anticipation as they descended toward Earth. The blue planet below was a swirling mass of greens and blues, dotted with white clouds that drifted lazily across the sky. It was beautiful, and yet, she couldn't shake the feeling of uncertainty that accompanied their mission. "Prepare for landing," she instructed her crew, her voice steady despite the whirlwind of thoughts racing through her mind. They had spent months preparing for this first contact with humanity, but the more they learned about humans, the more complicated the situation became. Commander Zorak believes they're moderate predators, Tessa, the linguist, chimed in as she adjusted her console. But their social behaviors seem to contradict everything we know about predator species. Vera nodded, recalling the discussions that had taken place in the briefing room. The crew had been briefed on human characteristics, sharp teeth, forward-facing eyes, and pack behaviors, but also on their unusual social structures that allowed for cooperation among individuals. It was a contradiction that left many questions unanswered. As they touched down on a grassy field surrounded by towering trees, Vera felt a surge of adrenaline. This was it, the moment they had all been waiting for. She turned to her crew, who looked equally excited and anxious. "Remember our protocols," she reminded them. "Maintain eye contact and avoid sudden movements. We don't want to provoke any territorial instincts." With a deep breath, Vera led her team out of the shuttle and onto Earth's surface. The air was fresh and filled with unfamiliar scents, earthy and vibrant. As they stepped onto the grass, a group of humans awaited them, their expressions a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. Ambassador Keth stepped forward to greet them, dressed in an elaborate suit adorned with colorful patterns that seemed to shift as he moved. "Welcome to Earth. We are honored by your presence," he said warmly. Vera returned the greeting with a nod, observing the humans closely. They appeared to be friendly but cautious, a natural response to the arrival of extraterrestrial visitors. As introductions were made, Vera noticed a golden retriever bounding toward them from behind one of the humans. The dog's tail wagged furiously as it approached, its playful demeanor contrasting sharply with what they had been taught about predator species. "Don't worry about Buddy," one of the humans called out cheerfully. "He's just here to say hello." Vera's heart raced at this unexpected encounter. She instinctively took a step back while her crew exchanged nervous glances. They had been prepared for many things, hostility, curiosity, but not for an enthusiastic canine greeting. "Commander," Tessa whispered urgently, "what do we do?" "Stay calm," Vera instructed quietly as she watched Buddy approach with an eager expression. The dog sniffed at their feet curiously before looking up at them with big brown eyes. "Is this creature safe?" Vera asked hesitantly. "Oh yes. Buddy is very friendly," another human assured her as they knelt down to pet the dog affectionately. Vera watched in disbelief as one of her crew members cautiously extended a hand toward Buddy. To her astonishment, the dog responded by rolling over and exposing its belly, a gesture that seemed utterly foreign in the context of predator behavior. "This is impossible," Vera muttered under her breath as she processed what she was witnessing. As they continued their introductions, Vera felt increasingly bewildered by these beings who seemed to defy all logic regarding predator-species interactions. They were supposed to be fierce hunters driven by instinct, yet here they were, engaging in playful interactions with an animal that should have been viewed as competition or prey. The discussions progressed smoothly despite Vera's lingering unease about Buddy's presence. The humans shared stories about their culture, celebrations centered around food and family gatherings that emphasized cooperation rather than competition. "Do you have any questions about our society?" Ambassador Keth asked as he gestured toward a nearby picnic table laden with food. Vera hesitated before responding. "How do you maintain such harmony among your kind? Isn't there a risk of territorial disputes?" The humans exchanged amused glances before Keth replied, "We've learned over time that cooperation is essential for our survival. We value community and friendship above all else." Vera's mind raced as she tried to reconcile this information with everything she had learned about predator species. It was clear that humanity operated on principles that were entirely different from those found in other known species. As the conversation continued, Buddy wandered around the gathering, sniffing at everyone's feet before returning to his owner's side for more pets and scratches behind the ears. "See? He's just here to make friends," one human exclaimed as Buddy wagged his tail enthusiastically. Vera couldn't help but feel a mix of admiration and confusion at this display of camaraderie between species. It was unlike anything she had ever encountered before, a phenomenon that challenged everything she thought she knew about predators and prey. Suddenly, one of the crew members gasped as Buddy approached them again, this time playfully nudging their hand with his nose. Commander," they stammered nervously. "Just pet him," Vera instructed reluctantly, still grappling with how to handle this unexpected situation. Tentatively reaching out a hand, the crew member scratched Buddy behind his ears. To their surprise, the dog responded by rolling over once more and wagging its tail furiously, a clear invitation for more attention. Laughter erupted among both humans and aliens as they witnessed this interaction unfold before them. "This is incredible!" Tessa exclaimed, her earlier apprehensions fading away as she joined in on petting Buddy alongside her fellow crew member. Vera couldn't help but smile at this unexpected turn of events, an icebreaker that transformed their initial tension into laughter and camaraderie. As night fell over Earth and stars began twinkling overhead like distant beacons guiding them toward understanding one another better, Vera realized that perhaps it wasn't just human behavior that needed reevaluating, it was also their own preconceived notions about what it meant to be a predator in this vast universe. The revelation of canine companionship. Dr. Eloan adjusted her glasses as she peered through the observation window of the research facility, her mind racing with the implications of what she had witnessed during the first contact event. The golden retriever, Buddy, had turned everything she thought she knew about predator species on its head. She had dedicated her life to studying interspecies behavior, yet this encounter had left her questioning the very foundations of her research. "Can you believe what we just saw?" Raj, a dog trainer and behavioral specialist, asked as he stepped into the room, still buzzing with excitement. "I've worked with dogs for years, but I never imagined they could be part of such a monumental moment in galactic history." Eloan turned to face him, her expression serious. "It's not just about the dog, Raj. It's about what Buddy represents in terms of human social structures and their relationship with other species. This isn't merely a case of companionship, it's a fundamental shift in our understanding of predator dynamics." Raj nodded thoughtfully, his brow furrowed in concentration. "You're right. They treat their dogs as equals, partners in their lives rather than subordinates or prey. It's astonishing." As they discussed the implications of Buddy's presence at the diplomatic event, Eloan couldn't shake off the feeling that humanity was unlike any species they had encountered before. Their ability to form bonds with other predators was a radical departure from established models that dictated how predator species interacted. "Let's analyze more footage from the event," Eloan suggested, leading Raj to a console where they could review recordings from the first contact mission. As they sifted through various clips, she felt a growing sense of urgency to understand this new dynamic. "Look at this," Raj pointed out as he paused a video showing humans interacting with Buddy. "They're not just petting him, they're engaging in playful behaviors that suggest a deep emotional connection." Eloan leaned closer to the screen, her interest piqued. "This is fascinating. It's almost as if they've integrated dogs into their social fabric in ways we've never seen before." They continued watching footage of humans playing fetch with Buddy and teaching him tricks, simple actions that revealed complex layers of communication and trust between species. "This isn't just companionship, it's cooperation," Eloan noted, her voice filled with excitement. "Humans have found a way to collaborate with another predator species without any signs of dominance or aggression." Raj grinned widely. "Exactly. It challenges everything we thought we knew about predator behavior. If humans can coexist with dogs in such harmony, what does that say about their social structure?" Eloan felt a surge of inspiration as she began taking notes on their findings. "We need to present this information to the Council immediately. This could change our entire approach to understanding sentient species." As they compiled their observations into a report, Eloan couldn't help but reflect on how this discovery might reshape their understanding of cooperation among predators across the galaxy. The implications were staggering. If humanity could bond so closely with another apex predator, could other species learn to do the same? Later that evening, Eloan and Raj prepared for a meeting with the council to share their findings. As they entered the grand chamber filled with representatives from various species, Eloan felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. "Thank you for gathering here today," she began as she addressed the assembly. "We have made significant discoveries regarding human behavior and their relationship with dogs, specifically how these relationships challenge our existing models of predator dynamics." The council members listened intently as Eloan presented footage and data showcasing humans engaging with dogs in ways that defied traditional classifications. Humans exhibit cooperative behaviors with dogs that suggest a level of emotional intelligence and social bonding previously unseen among predator species, she explained passionately. After her presentation, there was a moment of silence as the representatives processed this new information. Finally, an elder member from the crystalline hive mind spoke up. "This is indeed groundbreaking," he said slowly, his voice resonating through the chamber. "If what you claim is true, that humans can form such bonds, then we must reconsider our definitions of predatory behavior across all species." Another representative chimed in, "This could lead to unprecedented alliances among species if we can learn from humanity's example." Encouraged by their reactions, Eloan pressed on. "Imagine if we could foster similar relationships between our own species and others. We could redefine how we interact on both diplomatic and personal levels." As discussions continued around her, Eloan felt a sense of hope blossoming within her, a belief that perhaps cooperation among predators wasn't just an impossibility but rather an opportunity waiting to be explored. Days later, Eloan found herself back at the research facility alongside Raj as they prepared for another round of interactions with humans and their canine companions. "I can't wait to see how Buddy interacts with more members of our delegation," Raj said excitedly as he set up equipment for observation. Eloan smiled at his enthusiasm but remained focused on their mission. "We need to gather more data on how these interactions unfold, particularly how humans communicate non-verbally with their dogs." As they observed Buddy playing fetch with children from the human delegation, Eloan took meticulous notes on body language and vocalizations exchanged between them. "What strikes me most is how relaxed everyone seems," Raj remarked as he watched children giggle while throwing a ball for Buddy to chase. "There's no fear or tension, only joy." Eloan nodded in agreement. "It's clear that these interactions foster trust not only between humans and dogs but also among themselves as individuals." After hours spent observing various interactions between humans and Buddy, Eloan felt invigorated by what they had learned. "Raj," she said thoughtfully, "I believe we are witnessing something truly remarkable here, a model for interspecies cooperation that transcends traditional boundaries." The days turned into weeks as Eloan and Raj continued their research alongside human counterparts who were equally eager to explore this new frontier together. As they delved deeper into understanding humanity's unique relationship with dogs, a partnership built on trust rather than dominance, they began crafting plans for future collaborations aimed at fostering similar connections across different species throughout the galaxy. The diplomatic disaster. The Grand Hall was alive with excitement as the alien delegation prepared for the most anticipated event in recent galactic history, first contact with humanity. Captain Vera stood at the forefront, her heart racing with anticipation and anxiety. The room was adorned with colorful banners and decorations that represented both Earth and their own species, creating an atmosphere of celebration. Yet, beneath the surface, a sense of dread lingered. "Remember, everyone," Vera reminded her crew as they gathered for a final briefing. "Maintain eye contact, avoid sudden movements, and above all, respect their customs. We're here to foster understanding, not provoke fear." Tessa adjusted her ceremonial neck restraint, a vibrant blue adorned with intricate patterns. "I still can't believe we're about to meet them face to face. This is a historic moment." As they made their way to the center of the hall, Vera glanced around at the humans who had gathered to greet them. They were dressed in formal attire that varied widely in color and style. Some wore suits while others donned dresses adorned with sequins and bright colors. It was a stark contrast to the sleek uniforms of her crew. Ambassador Keth stepped forward, his ceremonial neck restraint featuring cheerful cartoon characters that had been identified as minions. "Welcome to Earth. We are honored by your presence," he announced with enthusiasm. Vera returned the greeting with a nod, but her focus was drawn to a figure approaching from the side, a woman wearing a solid blue neck restraint who exuded confidence. Commander Rodriguez walked in with a golden retriever trotting beside her, its tail wagging energetically. "Commander Rodriguez!" Keth exclaimed, his voice filled with excitement. "It's wonderful to see you." "Thanks. I'm glad to be here," Rodriguez replied warmly before kneeling down to pet Buddy, who had bounded over to greet her. Vera's heart sank as she watched this interaction unfold. The presence of a dog, a creature they had classified as a potential threat, was unsettling. She exchanged worried glances with her crew members, who mirrored her unease. As the introductions continued, Vera couldn't shake off the feeling that something was about to go terribly wrong. The atmosphere shifted when Ambassador Keth began delivering his carefully rehearsed speech about interspecies cooperation and mutual understanding. Together, we can pave the way for a brighter future, Keth began passionately. But just as he was about to elaborate on their intentions for collaboration, Buddy suddenly darted toward the stage, his playful nature taking over as he spotted a shiny object on the floor. "Buddy! No!" Commander Rodriguez called out in alarm. The golden retriever leapt onto the stage and snatched up an important-looking holographic projector that had been left unattended. The audience gasped collectively as chaos erupted. "Get down!" Vera shouted instinctively as she ducked behind a nearby table. The methane breather from their delegation released an alarming cloud of gas, sending several crew members into panic mode. The crystalline hive mind shattered into pieces once more as they attempted to reassemble themselves amid the chaos. "Ambassador! What do we do?" one of Vera's crew members shouted over the commotion. "I don't know." Keth replied frantically as he tried to regain control of the situation. Buddy, oblivious to the chaos he had caused, began running around the stage with the holographic projector clamped in his mouth. The humans laughed at his antics while Vera's team struggled to comprehend what was happening. "Is everything okay?" Rodriguez asked, trying to maintain her composure while watching Buddy's playful display. "Everything is not okay," Vera exclaimed as she climbed up onto a table for a better view of the unfolding disaster. "That dog is causing chaos." As Buddy continued his playful romp across the stage, he accidentally bumped into Keth, who stumbled backward and fell into a decorative fountain filled with colorful flowers. Water splashed everywhere as Keth flailed about in surprise. The laughter from the human audience grew louder as they witnessed this unexpected turn of events. It was both humorous and chaotic, a scene that no one could have anticipated during such an important diplomatic event. "Someone needs to get that dog," Tessa shouted amid laughter and confusion. Finally managing to regain her footing, Commander Rodriguez rushed toward Buddy in an attempt to retrieve the holographic projector before any further damage could be done. "Buddy! Come here," she called out, but Buddy only responded by barking playfully and running in circles around her. Vera could hardly believe what she was witnessing. A golden retriever had turned their diplomatic event into an absurd comedy show. It was both embarrassing and enlightening. This was not how first contact was supposed to unfold. As Rodriguez finally managed to catch up with Buddy and retrieve the projector from his mouth, she turned back toward the audience with an apologetic smile. "Sorry about that. He just loves meeting new people." The crowd erupted into laughter once more as they witnessed this light-hearted moment amid what could have been a disastrous encounter. It became clear that humanity's relationship with dogs transcended mere companionship. It was woven into their very fabric of social interaction. Vera felt a mix of relief and bewilderment wash over her as she realized how this unexpected incident had shifted the tone of their meeting entirely. What began as a tense diplomatic exchange had transformed into an opportunity for genuine connection through shared laughter and understanding. As Buddy settled down beside Rodriguez, panting happily after his escapades, Vera couldn't help but smile at how this moment encapsulated everything they had learned about humanity thus far, an ability to adapt and find joy even in chaos. Perhaps this isn't such a disaster after all, Vera mused aloud as she exchanged glances with her crew members who were now laughing along with their human counterparts. In that moment of levity amidst uncertainty, it became evident that while they may have misunderstood many aspects of human society, their capacity for connection through humor and companionship shone brightly against all odds.